Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Radically Real. I am so excited to have everybody here, and I am very excited to have Tyson with Gays Against Groomers here with me today. Very excited. I've been following Gays Against Groomers for a long time, so I'm super excited about this. So, Tyson, tell everybody who you are and what you're up to.
Cool. Well, thank you for having me. Really cool to be here.
Thank you for
Um,
coming.
so my name is Tyson, obviously, and I live in Australia, and I'm a content creator for Gays Against Groomers.
Okay, awesome. Now, some people listening to this may not know what Gays Against Groomers is, so can you tell the audience what that is?
Yeah, so it's a non-profit organization based in the USA, and it is a company of lesbians, gay, bi people, and we are very much against the grooming of children, and especially in our name as well. So yeah, the whole grooming in schools, in TV, like wherever you've seen it, where it just it's intense. It's everywhere. I mean, it's in churches now too. We are against it all, and people have asked us like why we're doing it, and like it's wrong. There are parents within Gays Against Groomers as well. Some like Jamie and Sasha are brand new mums as well to a little boy. So it is very personal to everyone that's there. And the fact that they are using our sexuality as a sword and shield to push this agenda
Mm-hmm.
just rubs us the wrong way.
Yeah, in
So
like so many ways. I was on Instagram before you came on, and a Gays Against Groomers post came up, and it was that guy Dylan.
Mulvaney.
Oh my god. Oh my god, and he was talking about tampons. I was like, "Bro, you don't ever want a fucking period, okay?" Like,
Uh,
and I can see the nuance of it because her story, sorry, I do try and respect pronouns. So her
mm,
story is that she was in the bathroom, a women's bathroom, and someone was in, like, as us women do, like, fuck, we get our period because we're out and about, and we're like, "Oh, fuck, like, does anyone in here have a pad or a tampon or whatever if there's other women in there?" And then I guess she was the only one in there, and obviously, why would she have a fucking tampon?
mm,
And the story goes that, like, she wanted to make sure that she always had one if it ever came up, which I can respect, like, I appreciate that, but I also don't respect, like, having someone like that as a spokesperson for a fucking
mhm,
tampon or pads or whatever because you don't ever get a period. Like, thank you for having one for women in the bathroom, but
mm,
for a company to, like, put that person as the spokesperson for a tampon when
mhm. It's very gimmicky. It's like, why can't you like that should have been a job for a woman?
how about a woman who actually knows what it's like to have a period?
Yeah. And from what I've heard, it's not great.
It's not fucking great. Let me tell you, and after you have kids, like, sorry to get so graphic, but this is true, guys. After you have kids, your first, like, year of periods are like Niagara Falls. It is fucking horrible, and people don't understand, especially trans women, what that
Mhm.
is like. You will never know what it's like to have your insides shedding out of your
It
body. Like,
sounds
that is what is
awful.
happening.
I've some stories and like honestly, since I've been in this job, I've been like seeing a lot more content, especially from the perspective of women that are speaking
Yeah.
up. And they're saying things, and I'm like, oh, I'm learning something new. I recently just learned about how, like, honestly, it was actually pretty cool hearing how women's breast will change the breast milk for the child, like on a daily, even hourly basis. I did not know that.
It's crazy.
I saw that and I was like, wow, women are really cool. Oh,
Well, and this is what gets me is, like, so I have 3 kids. I've made 3 children inside my body, and it's like when you're pregnant and you're sitting there, your body is making a human.
hmm.
And it's like when I got pregnant with my son, I was like, I'm growing a penis inside my body. I was so convinced that I was having another girl that when she's like, it was during COVID, so she's on the phone and she's like, "All right, are you ready to know the sex?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." She's like, "It's a boy," and I was like, and that's the first thing I said to her. I was like, "I'm growing a penis inside my body." But here's the thing: I grew a penis inside my
Mhm.
body because I'm a woman, and
Yeah,
this whole, like, I just feel like, as you know, because you follow me, is like I just feel like womanhood is being stripped away from women,
Mhm.
and it's such a sacred thing, like men in putting trans women in women's sports and like spaces where we fought so hard to have like equality, and the equality comes because men are stronger, have stronger bone density, like they're just better at sports. Well,
And
not
do you know
better
the
at
crazy
sports, they're
thing
just
as well?
stronger.
Like, the stripping of women with this whole movement actually goes so much further, I think people actually realize. So, you may have heard about Marsha P. Johnson, the trans did they say it was transvestite? No, they said it was trans person at Stonewall. The
Okay.
first trans like, that was a whole thing they pushed, is that it was a trans person, a black person that helped gay people get pride and the rights and stuff. So that's a lie. So the person who actually started the riots at Stonewall, which is the whole like thing behind pride, was a woman, a lesbian named Stormy DeLuvier, and she died in 2014.
No
So what actually
way.
happened was she was Butch Dyke. She was actually very protective of the community.
Mhm.
She would even, like, go and walk the streets around the area at night, 'cause it was very dangerous back then, like,
Yeah, of
legal
course,
to be
yeah.
gay and people would get bashed just quite frequently, and she would walk around the streets, a woman with a baseball bat, and, they called her, like, a hero back then, and when the riot happened, when the police came and they were being violent, she, got punched, I believe, by a cop, and she turned to the crowd and she, like, just screamed, just like a desperation, like, "Why don't you do something?" And she apparently punched the cop back, and that's what started the riots.
Yeah.
And Marsha P. Johnson and this other person that people seem to forget about, I've forgotten about it too, they weren't even there. They were in a park somewhere, like, getting high or something, and they didn't even arrive to Stonewall until, like, an hour after the riots finished. And then someone was like, "Oh, they started the riot and they protected everyone." They weren't even there. And it's not even like a guessing game. Like, Marsha P. Johnson has been on recording. You can actually find the recording of Marsha being interviewed, like a voice recording. And to start with, Marsha says, "I'm not trans. I'm a cross-dresser." So it's a gay man, just a drag queen.
Yeah.
And, he outright says, "I wasn't even there."
So why do you think that narrative got pushed?
Stupidity. It
I
I
mean,
wish I
let's
could
be
give you a
honest,
really
like, I think a
I
lot of it
wish
is that.
I wish I could give you a really creative answer, but honestly, it's just been like, a game of telephone. You hear, like, one person say it, and then, like, media picks it up, and then everyone's saying it, and then it's, like, a fact. And then I'm thinking people put it on, like, the internet, like Wikipedia and stuff, and it's just like a solidified fact now. I think I even seen, like, a reference to it on American Horror Story on one of the was it like New York or something? And I was just like, "Oh my god." It's like it's rewriting history. And the thing is, like, it's not even hidden about Stormy. Like, there's been documentaries on her. It's all on the internet. You can go see it. She only died in 2014, and there was I believe they're still alive. There were actually men that were there that witnessed it. And Ariel Scarcella, she's another pretty cool lesbian that actually does a lot of this, like, stuff as well, like bringing light to stuff. She's interviewed these men, and they were there, and they do agree that, yeah, like, people have been, like, kind of muddying the water in the discussion and all, but, like, it's pretty well known that Stormy was the one that we owe a lot to for
Yeah, for
Pride.
sure, for
So they
sure.
released a woman, a black woman as well, which you'd think they would, like, a lot of these people are very, like, race-based and gender-based and all that, and, like, she was a butch, gender non-conforming lesbian, but that wasn't good enough.
Yeah, they had to change that narrative to make it fit what they wanted, is what you're
Mm,
saying.
and
Yeah,
it really
yeah.
bugs me because it's just like, you know just completely erasing women at, like, just the base level of, like, our history.
Yeah, yeah, and on all like, straight women, gay women, like, they're just it kind of blows my mind to see what's happening because, I mean, just as a woman, and I get so much hate for what I say, but it's like, I'm sorry, I'm also raising 2 daughters, like, can is anyone seeing, like, these disgusting men that are saying, "Oh, I'm a woman," and they're going into women's bathrooms and, like whacking off.
I really wanted to talk to you about that as well because I feel like there's definitely, I mean, I excuse everyone that's not in the LGBT to like not know all the ins and outs and details. So they all use the term trans, but there's something I want everyone to start learning is the word orgonophile, and it is a kink. And the reason why you see them jacking off in there is because you've got two types of organophiles. You've got the gay ones and you've got the straight ones. So the
Hmm.
straight ones have a fetish for the idea of they imagine
Like
themselves.
public masturbation.
Well, they imagine themselves being a woman, but also having control over a woman's body, and they kind of like imagine themselves penetrating a woman as a woman. It's very like it's really hard to like wrap your mind around if you don't think that way. And the gay ones are a bit easy to kind of understand because it's a little bit more simple. So they imagine themselves as a woman being penetrated by a man. So it's a little bit more simple, that one. But like when you realize that it's all just a fetish, and I've literally got recordings of gay men like that have uploaded these videos themselves on like TikTok and they never get banned. And they're outright admitting that they get turned on at the idea of being penetrated by a man and like imagine themselves as a woman. Like they're not just gay men. They like it turns them on to think they're a woman getting penetrated by a man.
I mean, whatever. I mean, okay. But like in the bathroom and then you're like, "Oh, well, I'm trans and I'm allowed to be in here." It's like, "Well,
Mm.
why are you throwing that community under the bus, under the guise that like, oh, you're allowed to be in the women's bathroom, but you're still doing something totally and completely inappropriate and disgusting where like a child could be in there."
And that's why we need to get rid of self-identifying because it's been like one of the worst things that has been allowed socially. You've just let and like they act like, well, it's only these like horrible men that are doing it. It's like, yeah, we know. We know it's the horrible men doing it, but you've
And
you've
and
given
we're
them
aware of that too. Like as
yeah,
women in this world, like we're totally aware that that's not what it is.
predators, no matter what they are and who they're targeting, if you hand them the key, they will use it. It does not matter who they're targeting. It just that if you give them the key, they see a way through to their prey, they will take it. It's like
Yeah.
pedophiles. Pedophiles will always position themselves to be around children.
Ugh, ugh, ugh.
Always.
Spider monkeys. Spider
Rock spiders.
monkeys? Rock spiders. Spider monkeys. Rock spiders. That's
I
what they
don't know
call
where it
it in
came from.
Australia.
I don't know where it came from. It's just a super old term.
A
So
rock
yeah,
spider is a pedophile. I
that's
shouldn't
right.
laugh. I shouldn't laugh at that.
I know, but
But
it's weird. But like, yeah,
it's a funny term, and I learned that from your post about that
yeah.
guy. So who is that guy? So there's your post about Craig Sylvie?
Sylvie, yeah. So I personally had no idea who he was. Yeah, he's like, I guess, a pretty recent author, and I've been out of school for a very long time. But I have spoken to a few like mothers that I know since from that video, and yeah, he's actually done a few books and I think a few movies as well based on his books. I did not know this, but one of the books that he did was about a child that was abused that was now being actually groomed into transitioning. And I did not know that because I've not read the books. And one of the people that actually came across the video, like, told me that in the comments of that video, and I was just like, "What?
And to give people context, so this guy, Craig Sylvie, who I guess positioned himself also as like an ally,
Oh, heavily, yeah."
so
And he's a
was
straight man, apparently.
yeah, was caught with um
CP.
yeah, like
Mm,
child exploitation
mm.
paraphernalia. And I think that when we look at that, and it's not everybody, because we wanna make sure that everybody knows that it's not everybody, but it's like, that guy was around kids.
A lot of kids. If you actually go to his Instagram, I don't know if it's still up, but I went to his Instagram and I just went like looking. That's what I always do when I find a pedophile. Just go straight to their social media.
Mhm.
Um, and it's so many children. It's like children that he's worked with on these movies, children that have like come and met him at like meet and greets. He's been invited to God knows how many schools around the country here. I don't know if he's been international, Um, but yeah, he's like, there's photos with so many children. Like I posted a few of the photos and then blurred the kids' faces out.
Yeah.
I still don't have an answer why there was 2 love hearts on 2 specific children. Yeah, it's just very considering what we know now, it's just very, like, kind of
Like,
uncomfortable.
was that symbolism? Was that, like
Yeah, like, it was a bit of a Freudian slip on his behalf to put love hearts, I don't know, but it was just like, yeah, I was like, the most hopeful answer I could come up with was that maybe the kids weren't socially open with, I don't know, queer identity or whatever that he was trying to push. And yeah, they were just like, "Oh, can you not put our faces up or something?" And he just did that. And, like, that's my hopeful.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I have seen that, where, parents are like, "I don't want my kid's face, like, in this
Mm,
photo," or whatever the case is. I
mm.
mean, obviously not
Oh,
condoning
yeah, oh, that maybe the
anything, but
parents were even just like, "Oh, please don't put them in there." Who
yeah, like,
knows? So,
I
yeah.
don't post my kids' faces on my open social media. Like, I just don't. You shouldn't
Mm.
I don't. I
Look, if
have
I
a
was a
pri
parent, I would have the same stance if I was a
Yeah,
parent.
I have a private Instagram where it's just, like, people that I know, and I
Mm.
post pictures, all kinds of pictures of my kids, but I don't post them on, like, a public on public posts. So, I mean, maybe that was it, but regardless, it doesn't negate the fact of what he did, and in that post, and I don't know if it's changed since that was released, but, like, he wasn't giving, authorities the PIN codes to his stuff.
Devices. I did not even know that was a thing that they could do.
Can't they
Like
just get it? Like, how first of all, how did they come to know about the situation? Like,
so from
how
what I've read, he was on, like, chat forums, and I think they were monitoring these forums. Yeah, and, like, I mean, it's great that they're monitoring, but I wish they would just get them a little bit quicker. Um, and I don't know if this is why, but his username was Jimmy, 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 and when I heard that, I immediately thought of Jimmy Savile. I don't know if you're familiar with that person, but it was like horrible pedophile in the UK, like quite a few years ago. This He was like a TV personality, like a massive celebrity, and he was like going into hospitals and abusing children in the hospitals while he was working there. Like it's really bad. They even filmed him like up against one of the kids, and the kid drew a photo of him. It's like demonic photo, illustration, and he's like joking in front of the camera, going, "Why'd you draw me like that?" And the kid's like, "Because of the things you did to me," and he kind of laughs it off to the camera.
that is so scary.
And you
It's
gotta
even
you gotta see
scarier
it.
when you're a parent, like
Yeah, like, I don't know if it's like I had this thought the other day, and I was thinking, like, I don't know if pedophiles have been this prevalent, or it's maybe because we have social media now, we're seeing it a lot more, or maybe it's on the rise, or maybe I'm just
I
seeing too
think,
much of the
like,
job that
because we have so much access to the outside world now, I think that it always existed, but
mm,
I think that because now we have access to see it all. Of course, there's more because there's more people, right?
mhm,
The population has grown, but I think we also have more access to it, and I think that plays a role into what we're seeing, like where we think it's more prevalent or whatever the case is. And again, because there's more people, it is, but it's also like it was happening before. It was just happening
mm.
behind closed doors with no social media. It's like if we look at when you and I were teenagers, like there was no social media, there
Oh,
was
not at
no
all.
phones. Like I had a freaking pager when I was a teenager. Like there was no
If you had, like, friends that had dial-up, they were like the rich kids.
yeah, like we had dial up, so I guess I would have I would have been the rich kid. But like we would go to a party and there's no evidence besides like a disposable
Mm,
camera, you know what I mean? And nowadays everything is like it's in your face. It's like you can see it all because we have access to everything.
mhm,
And I think that I think that a lot of it, if we're talking about media, comes back to like trying desensitize the population to a lot of disturbing, horrible things that are going on.
yeah, and there's a lot. I mean, I'm not sure what it's like over in Canada, but there was actually a royal commission because we're part of the Commonwealth as well, like you
Yep.
guys and us.
Yep.
We had a royal commission here in the past, and it was uncovered that a previous Prime Minister of Australia was a pedophile, and they still
There's one
have
of my
not.
cats.
It's all good. Um, I got my cats asleep up there behind me.
It's Coco. Coco
But,
makes an appearance once in a while.
what's it? Devon Rex?
No, it's a Sphinx. She's a
Oh, I always get
Sphinx.
them confused.
Yeah, Devon I would love a Devon Rex, they're so cool with their
They're very
cutie little
cool
faces,
cats. I
but
had a
this
friend
is
that had one
yeah.
of those.
Hi, Coco. Just making an appearance. Anyways, squirrel. Okay, so this prime minister
Oh, yeah, so we that's the things. They actually revealed that a previous prime minister was a pedophile. He was on a list, from the investigation. They have not told us who.
so a previous prime minister was on some aren't they supposed to be publicly registered? Was there charges laid? Of course there wasn't.
It's a massive frustration of mine because we know about this because there was, like, a question time and, like, bit of a Senate hearing, and it's all, like, visible. You can go, like, find it on YouTube, but the senators were talking about it, and one of them, like, questions I can't remember who was questioning, I have to double check back, but he outright says, like, there's a list, and a previous prime minister is on the list of known pedophiles, and it's just like, tell us who it was. You know what
I
I mean?
just yeah, yeah.
Like, I can't undo what they've done, but you should at least say who like, it's the same kind of, like, thing with the whole Epstein list. It's just like, if there are pedophiles walking around, we can't undo what they've done, but the public should be very aware
Of who it
who's
is.
yeah, like, because they could be being idolized. We don't know who
Yeah.
they are,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
It's actually terrifying. So where we used to live, there was this guy, he lived down the street from us with his parents and the story always was is that like he wasn't mentally fully there, I guess, but I mean having a conversation with him, he seemed like he, knew what was going on in day-to-day life. And so he had a child sexual assault charge on him, but he was just like roaming around the neighborhood like no problem because he hadn't been convicted yet. So because it took like years to get it into the courts, which is so crazy to me. So
No.
we would call him the creeper. And if he was ever around, we'd like make sure to take like my daughter inside because at the time it was just
Mm,
her. And anyways, so finally the court date comes and he gets convicted. Okay. So they had moved, I think, by then, but he was in our neighborhood for quite a few years,
just
living with
walking
his
around.
parents. Yeah, just walking around. You would catch him on your Ring camera, like going up to people's houses trying to find like cigarette butts and
Oh,
just a creepy dude, right?
very
So
antisocial behavior.
just bizarre, like walking around the neighborhood in the middle of the night. And I wanna say he was in his 20s. I'm not really sure. So, anyways, gets convicted. He serves a few months in prison and then
Few months.
gets out. Okay. Gets put into a halfway house, then gets out of the halfway house in like no time. We're talking like a few months. And guess what?
Did it again, didn't
He
he?
did it again.
Yeah, they always do.
And is he in jail now?
Yeah, that sounds about right. That
Why are we
sounds right.
having like these loose laws when it comes to kids?
So, I don't know how you feel about this. I know if you ever see, like, pedophilia stuff, everyone's always like, wood chipper. I personally believe death penalty.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I
Cut your
I
genitals off. Like,
yeah, I mean, people say, like, I think in Italy, they're gonna do a thing now with, like, chemical castration,
yes, I saw
and
that.
I personally think that's still too nice.
I know. You're still letting
Take
them live.
take away the weapon.
Yeah.
Like, take it away. You can't trust them. These are people with impulse control issues.
Yeah. And we're
And
paying for them as taxpayers to live in the prisons.
yeah, and I did actually I put up on I think, my personal social media that, 'cause my whole thing this year is just I'm unapologetically gonna be savage, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just
Me
gonna
too.
say what
Me too. Yeah.
I just don't care anymore, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna say
Same.
pedophiles. End them. Done. Like, if you rape women, like, you rape kids, we can't trust you,
Yeah. You're done.
and
You're done.
you've given up your human rights because you don't care about other people's human rights, so that's where I stand. And then
No, I
someone did
agree.
go in the comments, like, and say something, and they're like, "Oh, apparently it cost much more to kill them." And I'm like and I Googled it, and it did say something like, "Yeah, it does cost more to, like, do death penalty, and it's mostly because of all the, lawsuits up to it because they have, like, the freedom to, like, obviously challenge the convictions and stuff, and it ends up being costing a lot more." I think when there is like 100% proof they've done what they've done, I think there needs to be some fail safes involved where it's just
Well,
like,
does it cost more than keeping them in jail for a lifetime
well,
than
here's
to
my
just
thought.
take care of the problem?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because like, yeah, okay, maybe it costs, I don't know, $400,000 more to take him out, but you know what? Peace
But
of mind.
why? Why does it cost that much more? That's bullshit.
Lawyers in the court system, our court, like your court system's the same as ours. It is so corrupted and full of
Yeah,
wokeness.
yeah.
It needs to be gutted out and redone over. Like I personally, like people have been joking about Trump like taking over Australia and stuff, and I'm just like, you know what? At this point, just do it.
I know. I actually made a so I'm actually an American citizen.
Mm,
I have dual citizenship, so I'm like Canadian American, and so are my children. So we're so blessed and so lucky. And
mm.
people were kind of joking about Canada becoming the 51st state. I'm sure
I
you
saw
heard
that.
all of that. So I guess because now Trump's like trying to take Greenland, I'm like someone was making a joke about Greenland being the 51st state, and then I said, "Oh, okay, well then Canada will be the 52nd state." And oh man, did people came at me hard. Like all of the libtards came for me hard. And like first of all, I'm joking. Okay? Like Canada's a sovereign country. We want to remain sovereign, of course. Would I say no if it was happening? I wouldn't fight it, no. But I still
Mm,
believe, like, it can be very nuanced in this as well, in that, like, I still want this to be a sovereign nation. Of course I do, you know what I mean?
mm.
But at the same time, I'm also like, but
Yeah,
I
I can
wouldn't really
still
fight too
benefit.
hard if it I wouldn't fight too hard if it happened, just have living in the States myself, like, I've lived there before, I have citizenship, my children have citizenship, like, so for me, I'm not, like, over here being like, "I never want this," and blah, 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 like, of course I don't, like Australia, that's like we're a sovereign, country,
Mm.
but I also wouldn't, like, be totally opposed
The
to it,
funny
you
thing
know?
is though, the funny thing is though, we are and we aren't because we're part of the Commonwealth.
It's true, you're
So
right.
it's a bit of an illusion, isn't it? It's like kind of
It's like we're not. We are, but
yeah,
we're not. Yeah, we are,
we
but
have
we're
we have
not.
a king. We have a literal king, and they have like no kings protests over in America, while we have literal
Like,
kings.
we actually have one.
We have a royal
But
family.
it's like, "Oh, Dexter, no. Oh, Jesus," like, we're just cat people here. This is Dexter. "Hi, Dexter." You're just everyone's saying hi today. Go on, buddy.
None are asleep. One's in
Uh,
the bedroom, one's up there in the cat tower.
I know it's late there, guys, there's a 14-hour time difference we discovered,
Mm.
so it's
What's
late
it now?
there.
Almost 11 p.m.
Oh, jeez, yeah. It's
I'm awake at this hour anyway. It's all good.
8:48 AM here, but I got up pretty early today. I'm always up very early doing something before the sun comes up.
Mum
But
stuff.
yeah, like I guess people don't even think about that. Like we actually have a literal king. But honestly, like I don't pay attention to any of that stuff
Yeah.
because really at the end of the day, like they are not deciding what's happening here.
Mm. Although I do have a bit of a conspiracy theory that a lot of the problems we are having is because we're in the Commonwealth.
Okay,
You
let's
know what I
hear it. I want to
mean?
hear it. Let's hear the conspiracy.
So if we compare the problems happening in Canada and Australia, it's near identical what's what happening in the UK. It just happened a lot faster in the UK.
That is true. You
Yeah.
are not wrong, for sure.
And I like it's one of those things where I'm just putting the dots together and I'm like, maybe this is just not the way. Like our current, I think when it comes to our politicians and our political system, yes, we should have senators and lawmakers, but it's very clear when it comes to our Senate, and I think you guys have a the same system to us, is that hear them and they're debating, and they're not debating. They're yelling at each other and stuff, but they're all doing backdoor deals behind the camera, and it just comes across like too many cooks in the kitchen,
For
spoiling
sure.
the broth.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and it's like an illusion of debate.
Mhm, mhm.
You know what I mean? Like they
Well,
just passed hate speech laws here in Australia.
I saw that. I
Did you know that
saw
they
that.
so the whole bill was like there was an omnibus bill, like it's a much bigger bill. It was about guns and free speech in one go. And there was a lot of like pushback, so they cut it in half and then they put it like the guns and the speech separately. And then what happened was so these bills got handed to the senators at like 7 a.m. And then, like, I think it was like an hour or 2 later, they had to go and vote on it. It's like free speech. This is like the system should be like months of like debating and like, changes. And now we have this like we have a literal paragraph that suggests someone feeling fear is now like the victim of like hate speech and hate crime, and the person who has like given that person fear could have 5 years jail. And what did we just say about that pedophile? About having like just a couple of months. You can now go to jail longer than a pedophile for hurty words.
I don't mean to laugh just because it's how you said it, it just
You
sounds
know,
funny, but it's
yeah, if you
so true.
like,
It's like, but who is it protecting? Who does that protect?
as far as I'm concerned, it's protecting the government.
Or a certain group of people.
Hmm. Well, the thing is, the governments, I think you got the same problem where they're bringing people in to raise the GDP,
Yeah. Mm.
and they're doing the exact same thing here. It's like, and it's fraudulent
Yeah.
because you're not really raising the GDP, you're just inflating it like artificially.
I think like what's happening here with immigration and stuff like that is like I'm open to immigration. Like it's a great way to
Me too.
boost the
Yeah.
economy and blah 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 all the things. Okay, I don't want to pretend to be an expert because I'm not. But from my experience over the last year, I will say is so I closed my business. I don't have like a ton of income coming in. I go and do some hair once in a while because I'm a licensed hairstylist. That's how I make a little bit of cash. But I'll tell you, it's like right now in this phase of our life, we're just kind of getting by. So I try to get a job. I could not get a job
Hmm.
because, and I'm and this is going to sound horrible, I could not get a job because they give the immigrants all the jobs because the government subsidizes wages.
Incentivizes them. Yeah.
So the businesses hire immigrants, which great. I want them to have jobs for sure. Like I don't like I want to make sure people understand that. I want them to have jobs for sure, especially if they're here for the right reasons. But the government is paying for a certain portion of their wage, so the businesses aren't hiring Canadians. I
Hmm.
have 20 plus years of business acumen, management, HR. I've run my own business. Like I am a shoe-in for the jobs that I applied for. And I know for a fact that some of them I applied for were given to an immigrant that barely speaks English. Do you know why? Because I went to the stores. I was even applying for retail shit. That's how desperate I was to get a fucking job. I went to the stores and said, "Hi, I'd like to speak to the assistant manager." And out comes a frickin' someone who barely speaks English. Good for them for getting the job, but we know why they got the job. They got the job because the government's paying for a part of their wage and the business is saving money on wage.
See, I know it's probably the people would argue that I'm being hyperbolic, but as far as I'm concerned, it just comes across like treason. I mean, you've got governments that have actually vowed to work on behalf of the people that they serve, and instead they're favoring foreign-born nationals. They're bringing people in doing to get the votes.
To get the
Like,
votes.
they've already confirmed like some of the most problematic politicians we have in Australia right now, their whole electorates are migrants from Muslim backgrounds.
Yeah.
And that's why there's been so much like messiness about the Bondi shooting over here.
God, that was so bad.
So bad. 50 people were shot, 15 people killed, including a little girl. And I'm sure everyone that's watching this, and you as well, be like aware that there was like a so-called hero guy that like
I
grabbed
did
the
see
gun.
the videos, yes.
So I'm a minority on this only because I'm very skeptical of, look, I'm gonna say it, I'm Islamophobic. I don't care. I'm very skeptical of Muslims. I have met them when I'm younger going to school and they're fine, but I think the tides have changed and I'm very skeptical. He was just randomly there getting a coffee, apparently. He ran up, grabbed the gun, turned on the guy, did not shoot, and then he's been handed $2.5 million in hospital. And then this is something that no one knows. So before he went to America and is doing his like little rounds over there, he actually contacted a Sky News journalist who's actually quite well known over here, Shari Markson. And he said, I want to do something really special. And he said, I want you guys to organize all the family of the survivors, and I want you guys to also organize some doves. And what we'll do is we'll go to the memorial and we will release the doves, and it'll be like a lovely kind of like send off, and we'll all be there to get different nationalities, different religions. He had a whole big plan, and he then requested that Sky News Australia pay for his hotel, and then that pretty much organize everything, right? He just said, "You do this, I'll be there, we'll do a thing, and I'll give you the exclusive interview." So they did it. They organized the dubs. They had pretty much everyone on standby to like rock up and be there for this, thing.
Media circus.
And then he had his lovely, I believe it was the penthouse hotel room he had. He had like best. His parents were up there too. By the way, his parents were brought in from wherever they're from and given residency like that. Just cut the line. Um, And yeah, so Sky News rocked up to the hotel. They're waiting for him. He's not answering his phone. So they call his lawyer, which is obviously dealing with all of his just everything. And the lawyer's like, I don't know what's going on. I will get back to you. He's not answering the phone to me. Um, Eventually they ended up calling the lawyer again, and the lawyer's like, I quit. Because like this guy was just living like a rock star and being difficult, and his lawyer quit on him. Anyways, it got Shari Markson and Sky News stayed at the hotel, like in the bottom of the hotel and stuff, all day. And then it got to nighttime, and it was never going to happen now because it's now nighttime. They haven't been able to speak to. Oh no, wait, they did speak to him. Sorry, he did answer at one point, and he's like, "I'm on my way. I'm on my way." And as they're packing up to leave, as they're leaving the hotel, he rocks up and he goes, almost pretty much walks past them. And Shari's like, what's going on? And he kind of just pretty much like dismissed her, made some like quick excuses, went up to the hotel room they paid for, and Shari Marks and Sky News did not even get the interview.
The hell?
And then he's pretty much hopped on a plane to America, and he's like, got off the plane, he's like, I love Trump. I reckon that's a bullshit lie. I playing the game. He's gone and they gave him like an FBI kind of like detail from the plane because he's been having like Muslims threaten to kill him because he saved Jews. And he then went and had like a photo with Zoran Mandami in New York. 'Cause that's where he's staying, in New York, where he was there. Taking a photo on his socials with Zoran Mandami. I'm just like, oh, typical. Yeah, he's doing the rounds. And I think there was speculation the reason why he kind of like did bad on Sky News is because he had a better deal and he didn't want to give up his hotel room.
So embarrassing.
And everyone's acting like he's the hero. He's not the hero. He wasn't. He was just a man that was there. I will tell you who's the hero. There was another man you can see in the photo that runs up as well, also to pretty much get rid of the younger shooter. There were people on the beach that were pretty much like body blocking children. There was actually, I think, a 15 or 16-year-old girl on the beach who put her body over little children she didn't even know to protect them. She got
Ugh.
shot as well. She was in hospital. All these people that had done heroic things on the beach were in hospital. They got no coverage. No
That's so
coverage.
sad. That's so
And
sad.
he walked away with a $2.5 million check in hospital. They came with a big novelty check. They'd been crowdfunded. And I'm just like, something's wrong here. Everyone's just like so quick to make this guy the hero. And as far as I'm concerned, being a hero is not based on just what you've done, but it's also how you hold yourself, handle yourself.
For sure.
And
Well,
I'm
it's about integrity.
yeah, and I'm not seeing integrity from him. I'm seeing just a grifter.
I don't like that. I mean,
Yeah,
I
like
don't know enough to speak on it,
yeah, well, I mean,
obviously.
honestly, go and watch. Like, I'm just seeing everyone, and here's another thing that I kind of like picked up on. So obviously, everyone's kind of aware of like how quickly the internet's like, oh, it's a Mossad kind of thing, or it's a this kind of thing. It's the Jews, the Zionists, and everything's a conspiracy on just everything the Jews do. But this guy is like, yeah, he's a definite hero, no questions,
Well, I
absolutely
mean,
no.
the problem with society now is that we're trained to not ask questions
Mm.
or question the narrative, right? People
I think
like
me really twisted him into being a hero because he was a Muslim. and there were 2 Muslim shooters, so the media propped him up to, like, counter, and everyone just fell for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the one Muslim that did a good thing cancels out the 2 bad Muslims,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like,
Well,
everyone
it's
just
media manipulation and it's very serious. Like, so, people don't realize like how much the media manipulates, and um it's actually terrifying when you really start to look at it. I don't know if you've ever seen that. There's this Instagram reel, or it's just a TikTok, I don't know what it is, but it's all the newscasters saying the exact
repeating the
they're
script. Yeah.
they're the same exact
Mhm.
thing. And if you
Yeah.
say something different, you're getting fired. Like,
Mhm.
it's like, if that doesn't show people that media manipulation is real and that they're trying to control the narrative, I don't know what will.
I also gotta wonder as well how many of those, anchors, are part of stations that are tax funded.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
'Cause we
Yeah.
have it over here as well, and I think that's honestly something that just needs to stop. If, please use
Uh,
my phone.
that's okay. 100%.
Um,
Like, the same. That's what's
mhm,
happening here for sure. I mean, we're headed in the same direction as the UK. Like, that's what's happening. That's what's going to
mhm.
happen here if things don't begin to change.
You
But
guys have like a reform conservative party that's really kind of like pushing back on the current government?
yes. Yeah. Yeah, we do. We do. But the so the challenge is, so Ontario, where I used to live, like half the population of Canada lives in Ontario. So there's only about 40 million people in Canada. That statistic might have changed, so there's probably more now, but like more than 15 million people live in Ontario. And a lot of those people, that's where a lot of the immigrants land.
Mm,
And half the population is voting for our current government
mm.
in Ontario.
'Cause they keep them in, they give them all the free stuff.
Like, say it without saying it, right? So it's like,
But
um,
you too, it's the
it
same.
it is what's happening, I believe. I could be wrong, we could both be wrong. I don't know. We'll never know.
I think we're right though.
But it kinda looks like that. But it's like, so if the government doesn't win over Ontario, which it would be almost impossible to do that because half of the country lives there, it would be, impossible to get a majority vote because it's not the same. I don't know how it is there, but here when you vote for a,
Seats.
like a
A seat.
representative for your area. You don't vote for, like, it wasn't like you went in and checked off Mark Carney or Pierre Poilievre or whoever you were gonna vote for here. It's not like it is in the States. You're voting
Yeah,
for
a member
your
of your area,
your
and then
member of parliament, right?
mm,
So, if you're in Ontario, there's a very good chance that you're voting
so this
Liberal.
is why I have a problem with our system, exactly the same, 'cause it comes down to seats, and whoever's got the most seats is now the government. Um, I personally think our way of voting needs to be changed. Do you guys have preference voting where you are, where it's like you vote like there's like 5 people to vote for, you kind of like go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or like who you prefer?
No, we just check who,
Okay, so in Australia, we've got a thing called preferential voting.
and then
So
you
you'll
do like a number, like, I picked this one the first, this one
this
second.
is my first vote. Yeah, and like so people
You're, like,
the
forced
proper
to say that you would pick someone that you wouldn't even pick
yeah, so if there's a person on there could literally be I hate to use the word, but it could literally be Hitler on there, and you have to give them like if you
on,
they're
like, a
like the
rating,
last
like, you have
one.
to give them a rating.
Yeah,
Oh my god. That's actually
and I hate
crazy.
it. And I hate it. And then like what happens is all the votes go like to wherever they're being counted.
Yeah, wherever
And
they're being counted.
yeah, pretty much if like, let's say I voted for someone that was fantastic but didn't end up getting majority votes, that vote will end up going to the next person on the list. So if that person didn't have enough votes, that vote goes. It could literally end up my vote could end up literally being the Hitler. If like the
Because
people
you
above,
picked because he was, like, number 2 or number 3. Because of the order of yeah, that's so crazy to
It's
me.
this illusion of democracy, and the thing is, behind the scenes, all the politicians are making deals with each other, going, "Hey, if you put me down as your preferred person," because before the votes go out, they do this thing where they'll like post on their social media, going, "This is kind of like my ballot sheet of like what I would like, prefer," like, and they will make deals like so. Labor, which is like our for Americans watching, that's like our Democrats. They will usually make deals with the Greens, which is pretty much just, you know, I wouldn't even say that the Greens, they're just Hamas at this point. They all just wear kefkas and do anything just to be obnoxious.
Yeah.
They'll usually back up Labor because they'll do deals with each other. And our like conservative politicians right now are just self-imploding. Like our Liberal Party, which is like our conservative, has I don't even know how to explain what's going on right now. Like you'd have to watch a video. Like our Reform Party that is like rising is One Nation. It's doing really well. And Pauline Hanson is kind of like our Trump.
Okay.
They even put her in jail at one point, like years ago. And then there was a point where she brought people into her party and they like literally dissolved her party from the inside. They were like there as like problem starters.
Mhm.
And like she's now like taken over the conservative like numbers and she's now like the second preferred party.
Good.
So yeah, like just
Well, I
things are
mean, that's
kind of
how it
things
is here. You've got
messy.
liberals and conservatives, and they're like
Mm.
at the very top. Um,
And do you
but
guys feel like you've been like void of like a proper conservative representative? Like, and I
no,
know,
I mean, like, I know a lot of people, like, our conservative representative is, Pierre Poilievre, who I actually really like. I know there is a lot of,
I did see stuff of him and he seems like a good dude. I was
yeah, I
like,
mean, we don't know. See, this is the thing with politics is like, well, you probably saw my post this morning. What's happening in our world today is they are pinning us against each other. That's what's happening. This is good versus evil. This is not right versus left. This is not politics. This is let's divide people so that we can pass crazy laws and control the narrative and all. Like, that's what I honestly believe. But I would
America is a perfect example. Look how the people are reacting to ICE.
Well, yeah, it's so bad there. That's a whole other conversation, but it's like for me, like I did vote conservative in the last election for so many different reasons, but there are a lot of people that especially the liberals like they can't stand him, and I think there's a narrative trying to be pushed that like conservatives would prefer another leader of the opposition, but not me. I don't feel
Yeah,
that way.
I
I think
mean,
he's great.
from what I've seen, he like speaks really well. He's a
He
bit of a
he
powerhouse.
makes it seem like he's for the people, but are they all for the people? I don't think so because I think a lot of them are all for themselves. Unfortunately, that's just what it is. But if I was going to pick a leader, it would not have been Mark Carney, who is now in bed with China. So, anyways, we won't talk about that. But in regards to like what's happening in the States, like I and I said this on my podcast with Annika, is I believe that the illegal immigrants, they need to go. But how it is being done in the States, this is fucking wrong. This is
Mm,
wrong. So like American citizens are being shot. And at the same exact time, they shouldn't be impeding law enforcement. They shouldn't be doing that. But it like what happened, whatever I think that was yesterday with there was
yeah,
another
there was
civilian
another guy. Yeah, but
shot.
he actually had a gun.
That's what they're saying, that's what they're saying, but some people are saying it was a phone. I don't know, I haven't watched a lot of footage of it yet. I will look into it,
I
but
did watch a video today that had a really good angle, and I think the main problem that happened was a bit of like no. I mean, obviously it's happening very fast and it's very like
yeah,
high
chaotic.
intensity. But there was one of the ICE officers actually disarmed him, and then you see him run off with the gun to take it somewhere else. And then there was a moment where the guy on the floor goes to like check his gun, and just the movement of him going for the gun, the ICE officer that's more above that pulls the gun out. He's like, this guy's going for his gun, but doesn't realize he's been disarmed and shoots.
And so the
So
problem is like, can we tase him? Can you get a taser? Can we just stun the guy down? I don't know protocols when it comes to that type of
Mm.
situation. I can't speak to what their training would have told them to do in that instance, but I just feel like the illegal immigrants need to get off the streets, okay? They do. It's That's what needs to happen. I agree. For someone who had to fight to get my dual citizenship and my children's dual citizenship, and I did it legally,
Oh,
like,
here too.
you know,
It's different
I
here too. Yeah.
I just think that, like, the way that it is being done is not okay. It is not okay. It is absolute insanity. It's creating the most crazy divide, crazy chaos, and that's what they want.
Mm.
They want us divided. It's also like
I
how they want,
do
like,
see.
straight people and the LGBT community fighting. They want us all fighting. It's like you as a gay man, people may not know that you're a gay man. I'm a straight woman. It's like they don't want this. They don't want this exchange. They don't want us talking. They don't want us, like, you know what I mean? Because the media can manipulate all of us to hate one another. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's bad.
it's
It's really
crazy, and
bad.
then people like me are being portrayed as, like, I'm a bigot, I'm an LGBT phobe, I'm this, I'm that, I'm all of these things. Do you think that about me?
I think you've actually been, incredibly, what's the word? I think you have, gone, yeah, bent over backwards pretty much. I'm hearing you talk about people that have done wrong by you, and you're using their preferred language.
Thank you. Thank you, and
So
I
I'm
haven't
just
publicly
like,
spoken about that.
I'm not
Nobody
that nice.
knows about that, and I will not, out of respect for the other person, I'll tell it
Mm.
to people behind closed doors, but thank you.
Yeah, like, I would not be that nice.
Yeah, and I am that nice.
Yeah, so, I mean, I know people that, yeah, would just be a lot harsher, and you're going above and beyond. So I've met homophobes before. You're not homophobe.
Like, some of my best friends are gay. It's just like, and then,
Yeah.
like, maybe you'll be my new best friend. But it's like, I it blows my fucking mind for people to think because we speak out about certain topics, whether it's politics or, how children are being groomed so that they'll cut their body parts off and, sterilizing children and all of these things. It's like, because I talk about it, I am definitely a bigot and racist and I hate gay people and I hate all of these things. I'm like, do you actually know who you're fucking talking to right now?
There was one message I could get to, let's say, the queer people, 'cause I do consider the queer group to be very different from, like, the lesbian, gay, bi group, because the queer people aren't even necessarily gay, but they have, like, an idea of what's going on. My message to them would be, start listening to people like you, people like me, people like Ariel Scarcella, Buck Angel, Blair White, Sasha.
And everyone with Gays
Yes,
Against Groomers, like, follow Gays Against Groomers,
exactly.
see what is
Start
happening.
listening, because I'm telling you now, if you don't listen to us, what comes next is not going to be pretty. You're calling us, fascists, Nazis, racists, homophobes, transphobes.
I've
The
been
people
called
that
all of
come,
those things. I have literally been called literally
yeah,
all of those fucking things, and I'm
yeah,
like,
and the
I am so not
thing is,
any of those things.
the real people that are those words,
Yeah,
they're not gonna,
they're just
like,
sliding right through.
yeah, they're not gonna have conversations. They're not
No,
gonna, like, have, they're not gonna confront you. It's gonna be the real bad stuff.
yeah, like a snake in the grass.
Mhm. And
Yeah,
one thing that I did actually realize, I can't remember the person's name. So I had the realization a little while ago, and I was gonna do a video on it, and I was gonna say, "Look, all you trans women going into women's bathrooms, you have ignored people like Ariel. You've ignored Sasha. You've ignored Mikey, and you, like, every single lesbian that's stepping up and saying stop. You are not listening, and they're being very nice. And what's going to happen is you're going to see the levels of lesbians that I know, which is now you've got Tish, and Tish is being a lot more assertive. But I'm telling you, it's going to get to the point where you're going to deal with the monster. Do you remember that movie? I think it was literally called Monster, where it was like a lesbian that, like, was a hooker, and she was like killing
Charlize
a bunch of
Theron
men.
played it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Eileen, her name, the serial killer's name was
Yes.
Eileen, I wanna say. Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
I
was
mean, I'm
like,
good for a good serial killer documentary. It's, how I relax, so
I was like, look, you can either listen to the Ariels and the Sashes and the Tishes now, but later comes the Eileen. Lesbians are not pushovers. Like every single club that I went to when I was younger, the bouncer was a lesbian. They're not pushovers. Like, you know what I mean? That you just haven't seen them yet because they're too tired, they're doing their own thing, but you are pushing it too far.
Well, and that's just it. It's just like when people need to realize that, like, say someone like me, because I'm just a straight woman, because it's being rammed down our throats, it's making, and I know that it's not everybody in the LGBT community, but it's making a lot of people feel like it is the LGBT community when it's not.
That's not a reason why.
There's a very small percentage of people that are pushing this agenda, and why we're conforming to it, I don't know, because it's such a tiny percentage of people that we're conforming this to, like, it makes no sense to me, but then it starts to give the entire community a bad rep.
Glad you said that because I thought about this as well. So I think we're all kind of familiar with the concept of like white knights with, say, the black community. Like,
Mhm,
so
mhm.
white liberals that just go a little bit too far, like to prove they're not racist. I think it's the same kind of phenomena happening with this queer community where I don't even want to say it's, and I will say, I'll be bold and I'll say like a greater straight community has some form of guilt that they've been pressured into to feel to overcompensate for these people. I'm going to tell you now, the gay community is fine.
Yeah, like,
It's
they're
fine.
just like, "I'm an ally, and I'm this, and I'm" well, good for you. I'm so glad that you're coming out as an ally, and, like, I am too. There's just really some
You know
things
what's an
that
ally?
I
You know what?
don't support, okay? And
Yeah,
one
like
of it is
wouldn't
having
why?
trans women in women's sports. I don't
Mhm.
want them, like, I don't want them to be allowed in the bathroom with my
Yeah,
children. I
reasonable.
I don't wanna be called a chest feeder because it makes someone else
Yeah,
more
awful.
comfortable. I don't wanna be called a person with a uterus, and people's argument on one of my posts was, "Well, you are a person with a uterus, aren't you?" I'm like, "Well, only women have uteruses. Only women."
You could easily turn around and go, "Am I? Aren't you assuming?"
Yeah, yeah. I should have. Never assume, you can't assume,
No, no,
and
I
that's
just
the
use that.
other
I
thing. You
use
can't
their rules
assume that
against them.
someone is something. You can't ask if they're something. It's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Have you
And
seen,
even
like,
if
the videos where they're like, they're pointing out that someone did assume they were, like, non-binary and then they kinda still insulted?
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, how the fuck are we supposed to know? You're
You
mad at
can't
me.
win.
You're mad at me if I don't know. You're mad at me if I ask. You're fucking like, and you know what? Even when you are respectful to them, they still try and turn around and fuck you over.
Yeah, 'cause it's all a matter of narcissism. It's not, gender dysphoria, it's narcissism.
Yeah, it's
Because
actually
they really like the power trip. It always comes down to they get to demand something and making you do it. Like, it's the same thing when you're sitting with the cops or something, and a cop will, like, pull them over, and the cop will be very civil, very nice, and, like, there's always something layered on top. It's like, I've got anxiety and, please don't touch me, you're a man, and they'll make demands. They'll just continuously make demands because the moment you start doing their demands, they're winning. It's a
yes.
point system, and it's narcissism, and it rewards them. So I just think we need to start, you
Bending
know
over backwards, like, literally bending over backwards.
Mhm.
I I with my last baby that I had, she's 18 months now, like, in the hospital, they asked me if I was gonna chest feed. I was like, "What?" I was like,
Mm,
"What? Don't speak to me like that. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Why are we rearranging this language to make to make people comfortable? Like, I'm not comfortable with that. Does anyone care what we think? Nope, nobody cares what we think. We're not allowed to have a fucking opinion about anything. So that's
yeah,
fine. Just
yeah.
just being
It's
erased, okay.
it's literal misogyny. It's like we're just taking away. Because here's the thing when it comes to equality, like, I like the idea of equality, you know what I mean? Women should have, the right to vote. They should have, the right to go for a job or be, homemakers and such, um, and of course, like, same-sex marriage. That's probably the most liberal thing about me is, like, same-sex marriage. Everything else, I'm very conservative.
Yeah,
Um,
But
But
I
like,
also believe you should be allowed to marry the person you love. I think that, of course, you
yeah,
should
like
be able to.
consenting
Like,
adults, fine. But why
yeah.
are the women that are having to give up a chunk of their freedom? Like it's
But no
women
one's
that are
looking at it like that. No one looks at it like that, and it's like, but that is exactly what is fricking happening. Like, look at female athletes now that have, like, they have fought their entire lives to, get to the Olympics and to do these things to compete against women because it's they're I don't wanna say everyone's the same because 'cause they're not, but, you know, you compete against women because of the biological makeup. So why on earth would we fight to allow trans women into women's sports when they are a man and they had their own category for
mm,
men?
yeah.
Because you're a man, it's different. It's just and that's just a biological fact. That's biology. Why are we saying anything else when it's literal biology?
Yeah, and like I think you did a clip with Annika and you said something like, in years to come, dig up the bones and it's gonna be very clear, female.
Yes, like they're going to
Men and women,
assume.
different clavicles. Men have bigger rib cages for larger lumps. And pelvis is a massive one because you obviously have the space for a baby to
To
pass
push
through.
a
Men
baby
do
out.
not
To
have
let
that.
me tell you, that's not fun either. I've
No,
had
there's
1 come out of my
so
vagina and 2 come out of my 2 C-sections, and it's both horrible. But that's the thing is that they are gonna know just by our bones and DNA
skulls. Our skulls are different too.
that that I was 29. I'm just kidding. I'm just gonna live like keep that in my thoughts forever. I'm 29, I'm 29. But they're gonna know. They would just know that from our bones. And here's the thing, like you said before, I do respect pronouns. I don't agree with a
Mm,
lot of them. I don't
you
agree.
do
I
it
don't
way
know
more
what
than I do.
Z, zer, zim, like, I don't get
I'm not doing
any of that.
this.
I totally disagree with it, but I will still call you what you wanna be called. I don't have to fucking agree with you, but I will
Mm,
respect that because I try to remain kind. I believe that I'm a kind person and I try that. I just don't fucking agree with it at all whatsoever. Like the they them thing. Oh my god, so many people were arguing with me on that most recent post. It's just like my issue with it is that it's you're a singular person,
mhm.
one identifying as a plural pronoun. So are you more than one? Are you one?
It's
What are
all
you?
narcissism. It's narcissism to the max.
It's so
And
crazy to
I'm gonna
me.
say something bold, and people might get angry. I don't know if they'll see it or not. I'm sorry about my phone, but I'm getting messages.
That's okay.
I don't believe non-binary is a real thing, and I'm just gonna go on record and say that non-binary is not a thing.
It's
Uh,
weird.
It's
I
never
I
been a
I
thing.
think it's the most strange and then the person that I told you about before we came on here, which I will not again discuss that publicly because it's not fair to them, is now
Mhm.
with them. Is now with them.
Is so you're being so nice, and you don't have
He
to
is now with them.
be. See, you're not a phobe of any sort. You're being nice when you don't need to be.
Well, I appreciate that because I've been called a lot of different things, but I'm okay with that. Um I'm okay if people wanna believe that about me because the people that truly know me know who I am, and the people that don't know, and that's fine.
I do
I've
wanna I do wanna say as well, like, 'cause there's a few things I was thinking about earlier that I really wanted to bring up, and you just reminded me of something. I really wanna get the message across to any straight people that are watching. You've been having it I just start by saying actually, tangent, I'm gonna get called a shill right now because they're gonna think I'm just trying to, like, really, really get straight people to like me. I don't care about that kind of stuff, but straight people have been getting a hard go of it.
Yeah,
You
we because well,
really
we're not allowed to think, we're not allowed to have an opinion, we're not allowed
Yep.
to think anything about any of this stuff
Mhm.
at all whatsoever, and it's just like even one of my husband's cousins who was super close with, like I got like really upset at like some of the posts that I was sharing and liking, and a lot of them were from Gays Against Groomers. He like won't speak to me anymore. And that makes me really sad because I don't agree with a lot of his political views that he shares, but I would never not talk to him because of that. But it's just
See,
unfortunate.
way nicer than me. I would not be that nice.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm okay with like I have a friend, very good friend of mine, and she's lefty for the resty. We just don't agree on that, and we're still very good friends. Like I don't agree with a lot of her beliefs. I just don't. But like she's still really great person and I really like her. My whole family is on the left. They all voted liberal. And they do
Feel the
not
black sheep.
they don't agree with me, and that is totally okay. And it's like I'm able to allow you to be 100% yourself and just not agree with that part of you. Um but still have an opinion about it, and I can still be loud about it. It doesn't mean I hate you. I've been making a habit of, like, people that are leaving really negative comments on my posts and stuff. I lose followers every day. I don't even gain any. They're just disappearing, but I don't care. Um,
You'll
I'm
grow.
like, "Well, I hope you have a great day." And the thing is, like, if you don't talk to me in real life and you don't know me in real life, like, you don't know that I'm actually speaking to you how I'm talking right now. Like, I'm saying, "Okay,
Mm.
yeah, but this is why I don't agree with you, and I really truly hope you have a great day." And I actually mean it. I hope you have a good day. Like,
Yeah, no, I've got the feeling you are a very nice woman.
not allowed to be though. I am not allowed to be
Uh,
that. I can't be both. Can't be both.
I would definitely, yeah, start saying you can do if, if someone wants to, like, declare me king of the gays, like, yeah, my rule is you can be.
Yeah, and I think, like, the other day someone said something like, she was going on about the they them thing, and at the end of it, she's like, "Yeah, you're not stupid, you're just a bitch." And I was just like, "Well, I'm actually not."
Yeah.
But
I feel like, yeah, I'm
I
with you.
didn't say that to her. I don't remember what I said. I pretty much said, like, I said something about, like, personal insults, like, this is part of the problem because it ends the conversation, and have a great day. I
Yeah.
hope you have a really great day.
Feeling the kindness, feeling my kindness, that's definitely your vibe.
Yeah, and I
Mm.
think can I be mean? I can. I definitely, like, I can be pushed to that, but it takes quite a bit. It takes quite a bit to get me there, and I think that, like,
You're very Canadian.
I can have an opinion and, not be mad about it. Like, that's why, like, you look at the situation with Charlie Kirk, right? Did I agree with everything he said? No, of course I didn't. But I
Mm.
agreed with what a lot of what he said, and I don't think that anyone should have died for, speaking up. I mean, that's a whole other thing. I think that he was assassinated by I won't say who, but anyways,
Glad you brought him up too, that was another thing I wanted to talk to you
well,
about.
I think he was assassinated. I won't even get into it because that's a whole that would be a 2-hour conversation. We don't have time for that. But
Mm.
the fact of the matter is like I can look at someone like Charlie and not agree with some of the things that he says because trust me, there were some things where I was like, well, Charlie, I don't agree with that. But still think someone is great.
And
Unless
he
you
would've,
treat
like,
me like
been
shit, which has happened, I'm not gonna hate you.
he would've been happy to have the conversation with you too, that was the good thing about him. Dialogue was, like, the thing that he was always pushing. 'Cause what was the thing he'd say? He'd be like, "When people stop talking, that's when real bad things happen."
That's the problem.
Mm.
Yeah, and that is absolutely true. And, like I have said this on the show is like my goal with this was to, spend time now connecting with like-minded people and, um sharing my time and talking to people with like-minded values and the same values as me and growing together. And I'm not opposed to conversations with someone outside of the values that I think. I invited my friend, to come on the show, the one who's, like, very far left,
Yeah.
to prove that, like, 2 people with very different views can still, like,
Can have a
talk about
conversation.
things normally. Like, we both have chickens, we both have a homestead, we both, like, we both she just got a new Apple computer, and she's super pumped about it, and I was pumped for her because it's so cool. Like, there are things that her and I can talk about while could
You were friends
disagreeing.
first.
And
You
we
were
were
friends
friends.
before,
Well, yeah,
right?
and we disagreed. We liked each other before we knew where each other stood politically, and I think that, like, more people need to remember that. Like, I'm not a bad person for thinking this way. Like, I don't hate you because you think what you think. Like,
Like I've even said, I feel like you're exceptionally nice. I'm not that
I
nice.
think I'm pretty nice too. I mean, I can be a fucking bitch, let me tell you, because I am outspoken, and I think that can get me in trouble sometimes because I just do say what I think because I don't believe that people should, like, hide who they are. Um,
Mm,
but, like, I'm one of those ride or dies.
yeah.
I'm like a ride or die. Like,
I just think you're being assertive. I think there's nothing wrong with, I think we've all been pushed for, like, quite a few years now to be very subservient and to
Compliant
control.
and shut up and don't say
Mhm.
what you think. You're gonna stir the pot. You're gonna get like,
And it's got us nowhere.
yeah,
It's made everything worse. Everyone's worse off, everyone's unhappy.
yep,
Even the people that these things are made to feel better,
mhm.
they don't seem happy at all. We've seen, going back to the trans thing, we've seen a massive rise in detransitioners.
I
Um, Another
know.
thing that I really wanted to bring to your attention, are you familiar with Buck Angel? So really cool content creator, a friend of mine as well. He is a trans man. He's very well on his um, uh, Tranpar, I think is what he calls himself, because he's just like an older man now. It's hard to pick it as well. You'd look at him and you would not know that that's actually one woman. He's very honest about all of that. He just did a video, I think it was yesterday or the day before, and he's like compilated like so many detransitioner videos, and it's actually incredible how many there are. So if you
Well,
do
and
want,
I've talked about that. I've said, "Okay, we're talking about transing kids and doing all of this stuff, but we're not talking about the people who are detransitioning.
yeah.
Like,
And
let's
these
talk
kids
about
are being
that."
treated they're being treated like it's a cult as well. So in the cult system, when you like leave the cult family, they like expel you, they treat you horribly. And these detransitioner, because they all, from what I've seen, they're all pretty much kids. They're all like, early 20s.
Yeah,
Um,
like, "Why did
and
someone let me do this?"
that's how they feel. Like
I
some of them,
know.
are still kind of like feeling like, oh, I think they're a bit guilty that they kind of did and they did it themselves. But it's very clear that they're all being love bombed to like they talk about the euphoria of like being trans and everyone's not like your people are like love bombing you and telling you you've done the right thing. And then when that kind of wears off, because no one's going to continuously go, you're amazing for being trans. Apparently, people are going to move on and live their own life. And then that's going to wear off and you're left alone by yourself with like, your chest cut away, no nipples, atrophy of, the vagina. Um, Women end up having their vocal cords tighten. And another thing about our differences of our body, you've got a smaller esophagus to a man.
Mhm.
So when the vocal cords actually thicken, you've got a smaller airway to
Which is
breathe.
so dangerous.
Yeah.
And
And just
people ugh,
so
it's just
people
so
are
sad.
aware, that deep voice that women get if they take testosterone is not irreversible. You will be stuck with that deep voice even if you stop the testosterone. It's done. It's a done deal.
So sad. It's so sad,
Mhm.
and when we think about I mean, that's my biggest thing is, like, I transition if you want when you're 25 or 18 at
Yeah.
the very minimum, and even then, I don't think that children should be doing that, like, 18 is, like, so young, like, I just, like,
Mhm.
I would there's no way in hell I would ever, like, let that happen in my house, like, I'd be very supportive, but I would be like, "You're
Mhm.
not taking hormone blockers, we're not cutting your tits off, we're not, giving you none of that nope, it's not freaking happening." And when you're an adult and you can make those decisions, and if that's the route you wanna go, fully have
Mhm.
my support, but
Mm.
I'm not to kids, not to fucking
It's
children.
way too final. It's way too like, look, so, people at home that aren't gay, and I don't expect you to be aware of this. So a lot of gay people, gay and lesbian, usually know from a young age they're gay. And
Yeah,
it's not like
how old were you when you knew?
as long as I can remember, I've known, but it was never like a sexual thing. It was kind of like the schoolyard kiddie kind of crush thing where it's like, "Oh, I like that
I
guy,
have a
that or
crush
that."
on Sally, and you're like, "I have a crush on
Yeah, I
Steve."
mean, there's the thing, I had crushes on girls when I was in primary school, and I had, like, little girlfriends, like, schoolyard things, and it was
Yeah,
never anything real or sexual, it was nothing like that, it was schoolyard stuff. And, I mean, I didn't lose my virginity till I was 18, and it wasn't because, I just didn't, it's because I didn't go clubbing until I was 18, and that's when things happened, right? And I'm happy about that. I've had a childhood, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So but at no point during my journey from being conceived to being 18 and onward did I need to chop off body parts, take mass amount of drugs to support me being gay. It was essentially the same as being heterosexual, where it's just how I am. There's no need for me to drastically change
yeah,
physically or physically.
yeah, and I think Well, like you said about the love bombing, I think what people look for connection, you know? They really wanna feel seen, connected, um
Community.
I can speak from experience because who doesn't want that, you know what I mean? Like, I grew up in a household where, you know, my sister was, like, the be all and end all, and I pretty much didn't exist, and that's something that I very self-aware of, that I always have craved a very, very close connections with people, and I think it's a very normal thing for people to want that, and
Mm,
when you sort of look at that in regards to, you know, that side of the community is like they kind of like they make this person feel so seen, and then these ideas get put in their head. It's like, well, if I do this, then I'll, you know, have these connections, and like it's kind
they'll
of
love me more, they'll like me more, and they'll accept me more.
yeah, yeah, and in some cases, for some people, that is true because they actually have gender dysphoria, they have it, but I think for some people, like, they're just so confused, they just wanna be seen, they just wanna be heard, and, like, that is kind of like a gateway into it for some people. I don't wanna say that for everybody, obviously.
So I'm like I'm meaner than you. You're so much nicer. So if you were to like line up 100,000 of these young people that are saying they're, non-binary, trans, whatever they're saying they are, there's probably like one, maybe two that actually has genuine gender
Yes,
dysphoria. As far as
100%. No, I agree with you, I definitely agree with you there, for sure,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying, like,
I
there
think a
are
lot of them,
some that definitely
mm,
that's a thing for them, like
tiny amount, and I think a lot of the other ones are confusing what they think is gender dysphoria.
yeah,
They probably have body dysmorphia, which is I've had that growing up. I've had
yeah.
gotten eating disorders in my teens. Actually, a lot of gay men do have, like, body dysmorphia. It's like a
I have it. Annika and I actually talk about it on the episode that's dropping on Tuesday, and I have a clip. I don't think I've shared it yet, but it is coming out probably today or tomorrow. I have a clip of that
mm.
where it's like, and we talked about this. It's like, so I've had 3 children, so I am a little bit overweight right now. I'm still trying to lose weight,
Oh, you're
whatever.
fine.
Well, thank you. Like below this is not so fine. But I am hyper self-aware of it. So when I look in the mirror and now people
Mm.
are gonna have seen that episode, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I know what she's gonna say." Okay, see my arms? Okay, so you see, like, you can see the bones in my arms, right? You can see that. Like, look, little wrists. I can put my fingers around my wrists, and I have small hands.
You're probably, like,
When
absolutely tiny compared to me, like
but when I look in the mirror,
Mm,
I see huge arms. I
mhm.
see these massive, like, those are not big arms. I know
You know
that.
what's funny? I'll reveal something, I'm gonna be very honest. My hands, I hate my hands, and I swear on camera they look very chunky, and they do. Like, I don't know why they translate to be like these pale, chunky pig feet. I hate it, and, like, I try to not have them in my videos
But when
too.
you look down at your hands, are you
I'm
like,
like, "What the hell is
well,
translating in
I
the
look at
camera?"
my arms and I can see, like, the connection looking at them here, I can see my little bone here, like, look at that.
Mhm,
I can see that my arms are very small, but when I look in
mhm.
the mirror, that is not what I see.
Yeah.
So, but I'm very hyper aware of the disconnect that is there because I know when I look down at my body and I look at like I look at my arms and stuff like that, like I'm not huge. I am a little chunker right now, but not like not as bad as what I'm seeing in the mirror.
And do you know what's funny as well? Like, so I never noticed that about you at all, and I actually still think maybe it's more in your head, and it probably is. Like, I'm looking at you and I think you're tiny, and no one probably looked at my hands until I brought attention to them, and now they're like, "Yeah, these are chunky fucking hands."
They watch your video, they're like, I can't watch that guy. Have you seen his hands?
Yeah, look at that guy's hands, they're so pale, like and I hate my hands. Like, look at my face compared to them. Like, whose hands? These are ghost hands,
Your hands
man,
are
and they're
pretty pasty. I will say that, but I didn't
I
think it
know.
until you pointed it out.
I know, that's the thing. You don't notice until but I'm hyper aware of it. And, like, look at that. Whose hand is that? You could if I brought that from the screen, you'd be like, "Whose hand is that?"
Let's compare the skin color. No, just kidding.
Oh my god, like, honestly, you go blind looking at my hands in the camera.
If you guys are listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you probably should just go to YouTube because it's gonna be a lot funnier.
You can look at my
I mean,
fat
like,
whole
I'm pretty pasty right now, but I'm normally, like, tan,
but
but,
you
like,
look sub-Saharan compared to me. Look at
I am
that, I'm
like, well,
Casper.
you know, my hands are a little bit
I'm in
lighter than
Australia, and
my
I'm
face.
pale.
Do your hands ever get a tan?
I actually have olive skin. It's not translating. When I'm on a camera, I look white. White. I'm
You know what you
patient
gotta
0.
do? You need to get a ring light that gives off warm light.
That is the warm light.
Okay, you need another one.
I put warm light on.
Okay, you need self-tanner. Okay, let's just call it what it is. You need a self-tanner.
Look, I just think I'm patient 0 for white, and I just gotta deal with it. I gotta learn to love myself.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, like, I would never look at your hands and think
You
that
will now.
no, I promise you I won't. I promise you
I
I
think
will.
I'm going red, which is gonna make it worse. Look at that.
Okay, well
Look at
then
that.
I'm just gonna purposely make fun of you in your videos because now I know about it. I'll be like, what's up with those hands?
Look at those ghost hands, man.
And stop that right now. But that's the thing is that like I do believe as well that it is a form of body dysmorphia because there's like that
Mm,
disconnect, right? And because I'm super self-aware of mine, I can look at it objectively and say like there's a huge disconnect there of what you see in the mirror. And what we know about body dysmorphia is that it is a mental illness.
mm.
So why can't the same be said about gender dysphoria? Because people are like, "It's not a mental illness," and I'm like,
It is.
"But it is, and
If you go on
it's not not a thing." That's what I want people to understand is, like, I'm not saying that it's not a thing, but a very small percentage of people actually have it.
and the funny thing is if you go listen to people like Buck Angel or Blair White, I don't know if you're familiar with Blair White, she's pretty well known. Oh my god, go and discover Blair White. You will just be so happy. Just so you know, Blair White is a trans woman.
Mhm.
Honestly, when I was watching her videos, like, so this is quite a while ago, I discovered her, like, just For You page. I probably watched 3 videos until I realized, "Oh my god, is that a trans woman?" Didn't know. I was like, "Oh, wow." Um, so yeah, very and the trans people hate Blair White,
Well,
which
because
makes me love her
because
more.
she speaks out on this type
Oh,
of
yeah. Very real. That's the
agenda.
thing. Even Buck Angel as well, like, they live life within the binary, which is something I've really noticed. The transsexuals that exist that are long before this whole gender movement believe in a binary. That's why they transition socially and within society from one gender to another. They didn't want to look like they're on the fence. They didn't want to be this non-binary thing, or what's that old word we had for it? Androgynous. That was the old word that we
So
used to know,
weird.
you know?
Yeah, yeah. Like,
So
It's
that
Pat. Do you remember that movie? It's Pat? Have you ever seen that movie?
rings a bell.
So Pat was a Saturday Night Live character and, like, they were androgynous, so it was just like
Mm.
it's a movie. They made it into a movie and it's called It's Pat. Oh my god, you have to watch it. It's so funny. But that
Does
was the premise. If you see it, you'll remember. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was the premise. Like, I don't know why people wanna look like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because we've seen people now that they record themselves and they really get excited when people get confused. And it's really obnoxious, and it just comes back to narcissism. It's just like they're getting something out of controlling people, and it's just unhealthy.
Well, I remember
I
being
don't
at,
walk
like
around in society and I don't get excited when someone doesn't know that I'm gay. Like I don't walk around going, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, and then waiting for someone to bring it up. Like
or
I
mad
don't
if they're like, "Hey, like, do you have a girlfriend?" Like, you won't get
yeah,
pissed off
like
because someone's like, "Hey, do you have a girlfriend?" It's like, "Well, no, but I have a boyfriend." Like
yeah, I don't care. Like, one thing that I've always said, and I've had friends in the past that said this too, me being gay is like the least interesting thing about me. And it's not a skill.
well, and I think that
I'm
about
gonna be
anyone's
very
sexual
vulgar here.
orientation, like, it probably
Well,
is
I'm
the
gonna be
least
vulgar here.
interesting thing.
Sucking a penis is not a life skill.
Yeah,
Anyone can do it. Women have been doing
if
it
you
for
want to do that.
centuries.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, most gay men do. Um, they're very different to women.
Yep, yep.
Um, but the thing is, like, you don't get awards for that. You know what I mean? But they'll throw you a parade that
Yeah,
apparently now lasts for a month. Why does Pride last a month?
I know. I just, and there's so many like kids don't go dive so deep into that other things could deserve an entire month than not.
Oh, absolutely. I think there was, I don't know which country it is. I've mentioned it before to friends. There's a European country, it's probably one of the base ones, and they got rid of celebration of Pride and they introduced a family holiday instead. And I love that idea.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
don't know how easy it would be to implement in the West, but I love the idea of a day or a week celebrating families. Like, regardless if it's a nuclear family, mum, dad, kids, or if it's just one parent and kids, like that's would be something society strives for.
No, well, you
You know,
can't do that. That would be racist and
look,
bigoted.
if I find a magic lamp, I will be making out a wish. So
Well,
just
I'm letting you know that that definitely makes you a bigot and a racist.
oh yeah, I'm cool with that.
How dare you think that? How
Yeah.
dare you think that? That is just terrible of you. You're not allowed to think that. That is just
Well,
awful.
everyone will survive. Everyone will survive.
So, because we have to wrap this up, we went half an hour over budget, which is great. I love these types of conversations. I want to know, like, how did you get linked up with Gays Against Groomer, and what is your role there?
That's look, there is so much that I wanted to say, but maybe we can do another
We'll do
video.
another one. Yeah, we'll do another one.
One thing I did want to actually say earlier is there is so many people behind the scenes at Gays Against Groomers, and they are fantastic. We got the
Mhm.
researchers. I actually first joined and was put in the researchers group. I'm not the best researcher, I'll admit that. Sorry, Mandy, is the manager of researchers. But yeah, there's so many people behind the scenes. I really wish people could see just how wonderful they really are, and they really do care
I know they do. I
about
know they do.
community. And there's like people that you may have seen on just social media that just comment. They have kids. You know, they're actually parents in Gays Against Groomers, and they're living very conservative lives. My director you know, in content, he keeps his kids off social media. He's a very devout father. Um, and like I said before, Sasha and Michelle, they've just got a brand new baby. You know, that's the two people running the show. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep. Yep.
Um, Brian, he's like the third in charge, veteran. You know what I mean? We've got so many people that are like just perfect members of society, and all they really want to do is just make sure kids are safe.
I know, and I think that this is a good place to close off because it's like that is ultimately what it's about for a
It
lot of
is.
us. Like it's one of the main reasons why I homeschool. And something a teacher client had said to me when I owned my hair salon was in kindergarten, she was to assume that children were they thems until the child specified their pronouns. And I was like I started twitching a little bit. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
It's it's t-
And
it's just too much for nothing. Just
at that point they're 5.
yeah, let the kid be a kid.
They're 5. So
Mm,
if my beautiful daughter is gonna go in there and you're going to assume that she's a they, that I have a problem with that. And,
that's where it's
this is not all schools, of course. I
mm,
mean,
that's
it's
a
not all
lot though.
schools. And
It is a
but
lot though.
that was told to me. And, I think some people will hear that and be like, "That's not true." And, well, believe whatever the fuck you want.
It's true.
I know what I was told. So
We've got evidence. It's true, people. If you don't believe it, that's like we can lead you to water, we can't make you drink. There is enough evidence now that it's true, and
it's
honestly,
true.
it's more than you'd like to think it is.
It's terrifying, and I think that, for me, like, I chose to homeschool for a lot of those, reasons because, like, I would never want my child when they're, like, going around the room saying, like, what their name is and what their
Mm.
gender is when it's pretty freaking obvious. Like, "No, thank you." Like,
That's
"No,
another thing. Like,
thank
imagine
you.
coming up to you and going, "What's your pronouns?" It's like you can't tell. Like, look, I
Try
got.
me. Those are my pronouns. Try me." Fuck around and find out.
Mhm.
That's what it is. Well, I
Yep.
remember I had to fill out some paperwork, um, when I had my last baby, and one of it was, like, "What is your sex?" But it was for, like, my pregnancy, like, to give birth. That's what I was filling out. And in capital letters, I wrote "she," "her," like, in exclamation, 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 like, so many exclamations. I was like, I said, "I hope a libtard reads this because,
Yeah,
like,
they're probably just there, just shaking with the paper.
I'm
Just
so mad that that person had to write this because they probably can't say she.
being
But I was just
triggered.
like, I think I was triggered because I was like, why is this question even on here? What is my fucking sex? I'm having a baby. I'm filling out my
Yeah.
like a C-section paperwork. Like, and it's on like C-section, like pregnancy, like it is paperwork for that thing. Why do I have to write
Waste
that?
of ink. What a waste of ink.
What a waste
Someone
of
sat
ink.
there and like wrote that piece of paper up.
This
Isn't
is
that sad?
me like filling out the paperwork and I get to that spot and I'm like, here's my kitty calendar. And I was like, I couldn't believe that I had to write that.
What a waste of time.
What a waste of time. What a waste
Mhm.
of a stupid fucking question. What a waste of having to reproduce a form
Yeah.
to have to ask my gender when I'm having a fucking baby.
You read that and just like, you know what? You're staying up there another 9 months. I'm not doing this.
I was like, oh my God. Anyways, we have to wrap this up. So tell everybody where they can find you on social media and what you're going to be up to this next year.
Cool. So I'll just say the next year, my thing is I'm going to be mean. So you're the nice one, I'm the mean one, and do not be surprised if I say some really mean words on social media.
I
I
won't,
don't
I
care.
respect people for what they think, so I won't think that
Yeah.
about you.
I mean, I won't say anything wrong, but if
You won't
someone's
say
being
anything that's not true.
yeah, exactly. I'm
I
not caring
say
who's
things
doing
that are true. I am just
Mhm.
more accepting of what other people think
You're
as
just a lot
well.
nicer the way you deliver it. It's a lot sweeter. I'm bitter.
Well, you're gay, so you're allowed to be. I'm just
Yeah,
joking.
I no, well, no, it's true. I'm gonna abuse the sassiness, and as long as I get away with it, I'm gonna do it.
As long as they
Um,
don't come and arrest you.
oh, you know what? Okay. I know we're gonna end this, but there's so much you can say. I actually said to Gays Against Groomers the other day, I was like, look, if they arrest me, that's gonna be great PR. And I said,
What did they say?
everyone laughed because I was just like, I will happily take that bullet. I was just like, it'll be great. And I just would love to see how that blows up in the media that they've arrested a gay man for being homophobic.
I think
Just
that would be awesome.
go for it. I will be laughing. You'll see it in the
That would be like
news.
the coolest thing. You're so right.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because it
I'll
would
just be
really
like, this
like
is just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous.
so fucked up.
Um, but
Anyways,
back to my
tell people where
socials.
they can find you.
Yeah, so if you don't see me on Gays Against Groomers, that should be obvious. My socials are Tigers Bite, so Tygers.
And I'll link everything. Everything will be linked.
So and bite as in like digital bite, so BYTE. And it's
Like
the same
like
on
date app people.
X. Yeah,
Same thing on
Tiger
X.
Bite.
Okay, sweet. I'll link everything
Yeah,
for you guys. I'll link Gays Against Groomers so people can check them out and understand that there is a huge community of gay people that are also against the same things. So, calling straight people, bigots for having the same beliefs as literal gay people is like so fucking messed up. But anyways, we'll have to do another episode. We'll talk about this stuff again. I hope you guys
oh, there's
enjoyed
so
this. Be
much.
sure to come to social media and tell us what you think. Uh I'm open to hear it, but if you're coming to call me names, probably
You
don't
can
do
call
that.
me names.
Yeah. You don't need
I
to call me
try.
names. I mean, I'll just tell you to have a really great day. Have a nice day. You can call me what you want. I just
Yeah, call me
recommend that
names.
you don't waste your time doing that because
Look,
you're not
I
going to
love
change my
look,
mind.
I love a bit of hate. I thrive on it. So call me names what you want.
All right, people. That is it. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Radically Real.